Good afternoon, everybody. It's great to have everyone jumping on this Zoom webinar from all over, maybe the state of Arizona and beyond. I think we have some participants even beyond the state of Arizona, so we're excited that you're joining us. I'm going to give just a couple of minutes or maybe even 30 seconds to allow some of our late stragglers to get onto the Zoom webinar, which we are recording, but want to make sure that they have every chance to hear all of the exciting news about Oceania Cruises and what is coming up and what Bon Voyage has to offer today. We've got an exciting panelist with me, a great friend that I'll introduce shortly, but we'll get started here in just a minute. If you do have a question throughout today's presentation, feel free to jump on the chat screen at the very, very bottom, and you can chat with us. We have staff members from Bon Voyage and Oceania Cruises ready to answer your questions, or we'll just answer them live as we get going. But use the chat feature at the bottom of your Zoom box and type in your question there, and we will interact with you and get everything answered as best as possible. If we miss anything today that you have specific to your journey, please make sure to connect with your travel advisor at Bon Voyage. If you don't know how to reach us, we will work through that towards the end of our presentation today. If you don't already have an advisor to speak to, we will get to you connected. And we have some great experts and specialists that know Oceania inside and out. We'll get you connected. But without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. It probably makes sense for myself to take a minute to introduce who I am. My name is Ryan Hansen, and I'm the president and COO of Bon Voyage Travel. You see a whole lot of pictures and data here. What this is really telling you is I've been with Bon Voyage Travel now for 14 years. I have a deep, deep passion for travel. I love cruising, and I love the cruise line that we're presenting today. And we'll talk a little bit more about my passion for Oceania Cruises and why it makes sense. But you might see some pictures in here. You may be familiar with me if you're a local resident of Tucson, Arizona. You might recognize the voice, maybe not the face, but I am a radio color commentator on as a hobby. That's my side job outside of working for Bon Voyage Travel. So for the University of Arizona men's basketball team, you can listen to me on the radio here locally on 1290 AM on your radio dial. Yes, we still have radio broadcasts, and there's a few pictures here. The scoreboard that's on your far bottom left, that's me talking with my hands. I was a member of the coaching staff for the 1997 national champion Arizona Wildcat men's basketball team. I'm in that picture on the victory stand. I'm in every one of these pictures somewhere. See if you can find me on that picture in the middle with our mascot Wilbur pointing to the screen. I'm to the right of him, right above the R in round. So you can see me there. That was at our NCAA tournament game against Oregon in the second round of the NCAA tournament just this past March. So just kind of a little bit about who I am beyond just the Bon Voyage Travel president. But my pride and joy, my favorite parts of my entire life are my wife and my kids. And you'll see us in the upper right. That's on our summer trip this past summer. We were in Venice, amongst other places in the Mediterranean, which will tie into something very special coming. But without further ado, enough about me. You've heard everything you need to know about me. Let's move on to why you're here. You're here because either you love Oceania Cruises and you want to find out what's coming, what's next. You love cruising, and maybe you don't know about Oceania and you want to find out more information. Excuse me. We have all of that and more for you today. The Vice President of Oceania Cruises for the sales team is Scott Kluesner, personal friend of mine. He was also on that picture with me from a while back. We both agreed that that's a little old picture. We need to get an updated one to share. But Scott, thanks for joining us today. Take it away and tell us all about Oceania Cruises.
Thanks so much, Ryan. It's great to be with you. And yeah, we were joking before we went live on the webinar that well, I had a little bit more hair on that photo of us. I think so. That was the Riviera christening, right?
That was the
Ryan?
christening of the Riviera in
Oh my
Barcelona
gosh, I
back in
can't believe it's been that long.
2012.
I forgot, Ryan, that we actually share the same anniversary. So I've been with Oceania now for 14 years.
I'm telling, I knew we were connected on many levels. Obviously, our love for Oceania and travel, and I know you love Bon Voyage, so we're excited that you are the one to present today. So take it away, my friend.
You're right. We love you. We love the Bon Voyage team. We do go back many, many years. For those of you joining us on the call today, thanks so much for joining us. Welcome. Bon Voyage Travel is part of our Cruise Connoisseur Elite group, which means they are one of our top partners in all of North America. They have an amazing team. They know Oceania Cruises inside and out at all levels, not just the VP level, but the president level, the chief luxury officer, the reservations level. They are well connected. And so they know us inside and out. They're also super professional. They take great care of you, their customers. So you are definitely in great hands when you work with anybody from the Bon Voyage travel team. So I've been with Oceania for 14 years. I'm based in our headquarters in Miami, originally from St. Louis, Missouri, and relocated 14 years ago to join Oceania Cruises. And honored to work for what I would say is a fantastic company. So thanks again for joining us. Today we're going to talk about our new season launch. We just launched today our summer 27 and winter 27-28 itineraries. So we'll talk about those. We will also talk about how we differentiate ourselves. If you're not as familiar with Oceania Cruises, we'll talk about our brand pillars, our value proposition, and then we're going to bring Ryan back on to talk about the Bon Voyage Travel President's Cruise, the first of its kind, first ever. So since I joined Oceania 14 years ago, we've really evolved. We raised the bar over time, with the introduction of our purpose-built ships, Marina, Riviera, and more recently Vista and Allura. You'll see us using the phrase luxury of choice more often than we have in the past. And if any of you have been on any of the ships I just mentioned, Marina, Riviera, Vista, Allura, you'll know that it's really hard to call them anything other than luxury. But we know that luxury means different things to different people. But we believe choice is significant in terms of a luxury experience. It's the luxury of choice. Or, as our brand promise states, your world, your way. So we built our brand with the discerning traveler, the discerning cruiser in mind. Mostly baby boomer couples. That's really still our sweet spot. Average age is 65. The bulk of our clients are from 60 to 75. With us focusing though on that well-traveled baby boomer couple, we're not all things to all people, but we do want to be everything to those baby boomer couples. So we do that through our brand promise and ethos, your world, your way, which is built on our 3 brand pillars that centers around excellent cuisine, small luxurious ships, and best-in-class itineraries. We built an inclusive experience that focuses on amenities that matter to all guests, and which we believe ensures that we are the best value in luxury cruising. So the brand pillars, as I just mentioned, these have been our North Star since we opened our doors back in 2003. Finest cuisine at sea. We know that a huge part of travel is experiencing the world through food and wine. We have invested passionately since we opened our doors back in 2003 to make that the hallmark of our brand. People travel for the destinations, right? It's mainly an itinerary-driven decision. So we know that. We know that the destination is the primary driver for most people. So we want to give our guests more time in the destinations that we visit. We're port intensive, we overnight, we stay longer in port. We offer some really unique itineraries all around the world. They're not cookie cutter itineraries. And then finally, small ship luxury. We like to say that with Oceania Cruises, you're sailing with hundreds of people, not thousands. Our guests, our ships range in size from 650 to 1,250 guests. No lines, no waiting, easy to get on, easy to get off. It's an intimate experience with a high level of personalized onboard service. So what do we mean when we talk about small ship luxury? I like what it says on this slide here. You will feel cared for and cared about. So again, a high level of personalized onboard service. We have more staff looking after fewer guests, which results in higher levels of service. And it really is easy to make connections, meaningful connections on board, because you're only sailing with hundreds of people, not thousands. Our staff on board get to know you as individuals. The service is warm, it's genuine and friendly and personable. You're not just one in a crowd of thousands of people. And because we haven't tried to be all things to all people, you'll find that you will be sailing with and enjoy traveling with like-minded travelers. So you'll find that you have a lot in common with your fellow guests. This visual really kind of sums it up. Looking at our small little ship there at 78,000 tons versus one of those mega ships with 177,000 tons. For a number of reasons, the industry is just racing towards larger and larger and larger ships. And honestly, we're okay with that because it does bring a lot of attention to cruising, which does help grow the overall market of cruisers. And the larger the ships become, the more attractive our small, luxurious ships become. So when you sail with Oceania Cruises, you will sail with at least half as many people, if not more, than you would with some of the other lines that you see in this slide here. And when you step on board, you'll understand why we consider ourselves the Goldilocks of cruise lines. Not too small, not too large, just right. So, our ships, you don't feel like you're walking into a mall. It's not crazy. It feels more like you're walking into someone's beautiful home. It's not a busy feeling. It never feels crowded. There are so many times when we're on the ship and we are 100% occupied, and people will ask us, is the ship full? It doesn't feel like it's full. We get that a lot. So, our ships are large enough to include many amenities found on larger ships, but small enough that you still have that sense of intimacy and comfort. We have lots of different elegant venues on board where you can enjoy champagne, beers, fine wines, cocktails. Martinis is a favorite of our guests. If you've sailed with us before, the venue I'm referring to. Great for pre-dinner cocktails, listening to the pianist play, or after dinner. We also have the Founders Bar, which was new on Vista for us. We have it on Vista and Allura. And that offers an immersive mixology program. The latest in cocktail crafting trends. We have Horizons Bar at the top of the ship, stunning views. We have a small casino where we will gladly accept your donations. And then on board, plenty of opportunities to relax and unwind. We have a beautiful, quiet and cozy libraries. Of course, we have a spa, Aquamar Spa and Vitality Center, offering massages, stone therapy, bamboo massage, salt stone, salt scrub, detox, wraps, you name it, we have it. You can get facials, pain management. If you want to fill some things, if you want to tighten some things, we also have a Medi Spa as well. And the photo that you see here is the Aquamar Spa Terrace, which is a private spot in the front of the ship with a thalassotherapy pool that you can access if you have a spa treatment or if you are in a concierge category or higher. All of our fitness classes are included. So stretching, cycling, meditation, all of that is included in the cruise fare. We have just lovely, beautiful suites and staterooms with elegant finishings, as you can see from the photos here. Our lead-in veranda stateroom is about 20% larger than the industry average. And we have generous sized closets, oversized rainforest showers, and we have this heavenly tranquility bed. This, we don't talk about this too often, but sleep is important, right? I mean, it's great to have a great night's sleep. You feel refreshed and energized. We're probably on the 7th generation of our Prestige Tranquility Bed. I bought one probably 3 years in when I started at Oceania. I'm ready for the upgrade now, but it has 1,000 thread count Egyptian cotton linen, a 7-zone mattress with 3,000 micro springs covered by memory foam, a 2-inch thick quilted pillow top filled with water-based gel foam and aromatized chamomile fiber. So I'm looking forward to a great sleep tonight, and you will too when you sail with Oceania Cruises. So we have a lot of different suite options on board. Owner suites that range from 2,000 to 2,400 square feet. The next level down are Vista suites that range from 1,200 to 1,800 square feet. Our Oceania suites that range in size from 1,000 to 1,200 square feet, and penthouse suites that are 400 to 440 square feet. Floor to ceiling windows, you see some of the perks that you receive by staying in a suite. Priority luggage delivery, 24/7 butler service, really offering the highest levels of VIP service. So our guests, as I mentioned earlier, they're well-traveled, they're discerning, they're curious, they enjoy learning new things. We have a lot of different experiential learning opportunities on board when we're at sea, focusing on culinary, cultural, wellness, and these experiences provide a great sense of community, camaraderie. We have hands-on cooking classes at the Culinary Center. Oceania was one of the first companies to introduce a hands-on culinary center at sea. And we offer hands-on cooking classes in the Culinary Center. These are chef-led, and we have all kinds of different fun classes where you can learn to make different recipes. A couple of them are called Passport to Asia, all about Asian cuisine, Pucker Up, Love and Lemons, brunch comforts. So there's some fun Culinary Center classes, and there's a lot more that I could highlight. We also have our Link Digital Center. This is something that was introduced on Vista back in 2023, one of our newer ships. Allura, by the way, is our newest ship, the sister to Vista, 1,200 guests, 800 crew. The Link Digital Center was actually modeled after the Apple Genius Bar, and we offer complimentary digital learning classes, self-paced, that are loaded on an iPad, or you can attend classes that are taught by a digital concierge. And you can learn about social media, travel photography, smartphone videography, Facebook basics, Instagram photography, and more. And it's turned out to be really, really popular with our guests. Probably the most important part of the onboard experience, though, really is that human connection with our staff. Our people are really what make the difference. Our staff on board get to know you as individuals. The service is warm, as I mentioned earlier. It's genuine, it's personable. You're not just one in a crowd of thousands of people. You know, guests come to Oceania Cruises for the first time because of our itineraries. Perhaps they've heard about our exquisitely crafted cuisine, great culinary experiences on board, or they're attracted because of the size of our ships, the small size of our ships. But they come back a lot of the times because of the relationships that they've developed with the staff on board and how our staff made them feel. And that's why we have a repeat ratio of 55%. So the hallmark of our brand, finest cuisine at sea, we know that a huge part of travel is experienced in the world through food and wine. So we decided, as I mentioned earlier, to make that the hallmark of our brand when we opened our doors. We're very passionate about elevating the culinary experience. It's a core value. And that was instilled in us by the gentleman that you see in the right on the picture there, our founding executive culinary director, Jacques Pepin, who is still with us. He's still going strong. He's, gosh, I think he's 90 this year. But Jacques really defined this as the finest cuisine at sea, and that has been our North Star since we started, opened our doors back in 2003. So we like to say that we are created for foodies by foodies. So how do we do that? We combine the world's most talented chefs with the world's finest ingredients and the best equipped kitchens to create a recipe for culinary success. So our approach, again, is curated for foodies by foodies. The two gentlemen that you see here are two French master chefs, Chef Eric and Chef Alexis. I think we are the only cruise line with two French master chefs. The world on your plate, it's more than just what you're consuming. It's also the sense of place. That's a shot of actually a steak, as you can see, but the restaurant is Toscana, our Italian restaurant. And when you come to Toscana, they start off with, of course, breadsticks, all kinds of different breads, and then the olive oil trolley will come around, olive oil and balsamic vinegar, and you'll get to taste different olive oils from different areas of Italy, as well as balsamic vinegars with the bread that you're starting your dinner with. I always fill up, on the bread and don't have a lot of room left after that. But what else can I share with you here? So one chef for every 10 guests, and we have an array of gourmet dining as well as casual dining, which I'll share in the next slide with you here. So a range of gourmet options from the beautiful grand dining room to the clubby atmosphere of our steak restaurant, Polo Grill, Toscana, I just mentioned, Italian family recipes from Tuscany. We have red ginger, Asian fusion, or Jacques, where Chef Jacques Papin shares his love of classic French cuisine. By the way, all of our specialty dining is included. There's no additional surcharge for the specialty dining on Oceania Cruises. We also have plenty of casual options as well. We have the Terrace Cafe, which is our upscale buffet. There's also outside seating, outdoor seating, al fresco dining. Waves Grill, it's our poolside restaurant. It does turn into a pizzeria in the evenings, and this has become very popular as well. At 6 o'clock, it turns into a pizzeria, and we find that our guests, after touring for perhaps a full day, and they may not want to sit down for a 2-hour meal at one of our gourmet specialty restaurants, they might just want something a little bit more casual, which they can get in the Terrace Cafe or Waves Grill and enjoy some of the burratos that we offer, or the great pizzas as well. Baristas, our coffee shop offering cappuccinos, lattes, espressos, macchiatos, Viennese pastries. All of that is included as well. Aquamar Kitchen, that's a new restaurant for us that was launched with Vista back in 2023. Wellness-inspired cuisine. So they have energy bowls, acai, muesli, avocado toast in the morning, immunity juices, smoothies, and more. We also have some special dining options. Well, afternoon tea, a very traditional English tea with white glove service. We have the string quartet playing for us during the afternoon tea. Great selection of teas, pastries, cakes, finger sandwiches. We have private dining options as well, small private dining rooms. And we can really cater to pretty much every dietary need that's out there. So that's all about cuisine. Let's talk about where we go, because we know that experiencing new destinations or returning to favorites is why all of us travel. So our goal is really to connect our guests to the destinations in a meaningful and thoughtful way. And we do that by giving our guests more time in the destinations we visit and providing them many unique ways to experience the areas that we visit. Itinerary planning has always been super important to us. So we spend a great deal of time carefully designing each of our sailings. And the goal really is to provide a nice mix of destination experiences, from those iconic cosmopolitan must-see cities to the smaller, more boutique, less touristy ports of call. So where do we go? Lots of choices. We sail to all 7 continents, 600 ports, more than 100 countries. Let me qualify the 7th continent, Antarctica. We do a sail by. We don't do landings, but we do sail in the Antarctic waters on some of our South America sailings. We offer 7, 10, 12, 14-night cruises and longer. These are destination-rich, immersive sailings. We also have the opportunity for you to sail back-to-back or back-to-back-to-back on grand voyages that we refer to them as. 50 to 100 nights in length. We have it around the world in 2027. We do not have it around the world in 2028. You'll see some of the longer grand voyages in today's launch for winter, that January through April timeframe in 2028. But in the summertime, we're typically in Europe. We're in the Mediterranean, Northern Europe, Baltics, Alaska. And in the wintertime, we're in the tropics and exotics, Caribbean, South America, Southeast Asia, Australia, New Zealand, and Tahiti. So as I mentioned, very destination intensive itineraries, not a lot of sea days, very port intensive, a wide variety of shore excursions that appeals to what guests are most passionate about. Could be adventure, food, wine, history, etc. Visiting some of those iconic cosmopolitan cities along with some of those boutique ports of call. We spend more time than a lot of the big ship premium lines do. We typically stay later in the evening. We have overnight stays as well. We're delighted to be partnering with Condé Nast Traveler. The editors of Condé Nast have handpicked some of their favorite ports on some of our 2026 and 2027 sailings. And they basically share their insider knowledge with you on what to see, do, and experience while you're in some of these cities. So a few examples include visiting a craft brewery in Juneau, Alaska, private cooking tours in Bali, or exploring Istanbul's 500-year-old Grand Bazaar. So I mentioned at the very beginning of the presentation that we will also be talking about the Bon Voyage Travel President's Cruise, hosted by Ryan and his lovely wife, Anna. So I'm going to ask Ryan to rejoin.
Yeah. I'm back, and thank you for teeing it up. You've done a great job of explaining why Oceania Cruises is so special. And this really is an iconic experience that we are hosting our very first. We've been in the business for 49 years. Scott knows this. We have never, ever had a President's Cruise before. This is the very first. And I mentioned earlier that I have a passion for Oceania Cruises. We selected the Oceania Allura, the brand new ship, to host and be the sailing vessel for our first President's Cruise for Bon Voyage Travel on quite possibly one of the most memorable and special itineraries in all of the Mediterranean. We'll be embarking on September 5th in Barcelona. If you want to come in a couple days early, our travel experts can help you plan a pre and get you booked in. That way you can see the La Sagrada Familia. You can walk down the Las Ramblas. It's a wonderful city to start and embark on a cruise. We're hitting great ports of call. One of my favorite little towns in the French Riviera is Aix-en-Provence that you can get to from Marseille. You can't miss the Grand Casino in Monte Carlo, or just take an excursion up to the little hilltop town of Ez, which is just phenomenal. Great little markets up there, a walkable town when you get up to the top with really impeccable views of the port of Monaco that you will overlook, and the ship will be down there in port. I won't talk about every port of call, but I have to make sure that we talk about some of the excursion options that will be at your fingertips. So here's some ideas. We're not going to walk through each one of them. You can read them here. These are the Oceania included, or the excursions that you will have the opportunity to pay for when you are in port. These are curated specially for the Oceania guest. You will see a lot of food options in there. You're going to see some history, some walking tours, some that are maybe a little bit more active than others. But when you get ready to book those, your Bon Voyage travel expert can kind of help you understand and meet the needs of what you're wanting to do in each of these special ports of call. But we do have an exclusive, only available on the Bon Voyage Travel President's Cruise, and that is when we're in Palermo in Sicily. I'll be hosting, with a special guide in Palermo, a street food tour where we're going to walk through the streets of Palermo and sample Sicilian-style Italian food that you can essentially hold in your hand and walk around. We'll hit restaurants, we'll hit markets. You'll get to eat a chickpea franchetta. You'll get a potato, what's this? A potato croquette. I'm not a chef, so I do have to look at my notes on some of these things. But of course, an arancina, which is a Sicilian specialty. We'll sample different types there and maybe even get into some Sicilian style pizzas, which of course, when you're in Italy, you have to partake in pizzas and pastas. So that exclusive excursion is included in your cruise fare and in your booking, as long as you book through Bon Voyage's President's Cruise group here. And I will say this, and Scott, back me up on this, we do have truly special pricing. If you went to the Oceania Cruises website right now, you will not find pricing that is this good. Plus, we have the additional inclusions that all of the Your World included amenities, of course. But we have the special excursion in Palermo. We're going to add an additional $250 of shipboard credit that you can use at your leisure in the wonderful spa. You can use it in the boutique, or you can use it for any of those shore excursions. Please note this, you don't have to pay for the specialty dining restaurants, which if you're in our group, Anna and I will be hosting each and every one of you at least one night on the 9 night cruise. And if you're lucky, you're going to be in Red Ginger with me. That is my favorite restaurant at sea, bar none, any ship out there. Scott, you and I dined a couple times in Red Ginger, and I just love the options there. It is a true dining experience, isn't it,
I
Scott?
love that duck and watermelon salad. I never thought I would that would be something that would appeal to me, but it's one of my favorites now at Red Ginger, as well as, of course, the miso glazed sea bass.
There's nothing like watching the little clothespin as you pull up the clothespin and the bamboo leaf opens up, and here comes the miso glazed sea bass. I'm getting hungry as we speak. But in addition to all of these offerings, if you are a sports person and you want to talk sports with me, that's me. Yeah, I'm actually 6 feet tall. I don't present as that in this picture, but that's one of our former players who is now a member of the Utah Jazz, Lowry Markin, and he's 7 feet. That just shows you how big the basketball guys are. I look pretty
Wow.
puny next to these guys, but that's some of the fun things I get to do when I'm not traveling. As part of my radio duties with the University of Arizona, we'll talk travel, we'll talk sports, we'll get to know each other, and most importantly, we will enjoy an incredible ship with great ports of call. And you mentioned it, very port intensive. This itinerary has 7 port days and only 1 sea day. And I love the timing of the sea day, Scott. It's the day before you disembark. You can
Oh,
just go
perfect.
hard on the ports, have your
Yeah.
last day on ship to just relax, maybe get a spa treatment, and then you're off in Rome where you can go hit the sites and the monuments and the food and the history of Rome can tie in the back end of your cruise. But if you can't tell, I'm pretty excited. And
And
when you
Ryan,
get a
I
chance,
think
yeah,
you're going to be scouting out Allura with me in November, aren't you?
as a matter of fact, I will be on Allura November 12th through the 16th with a select group of travel agency partners. Scott will be there, so I'll get a first-hand look at this incredible new vessel that's in the Vista class, which I've sailed on Vista before, but I know there's some special things that are coming just to Allura. So I'll get a little sneak peek to make sure I know where all the great conversation areas are, where in baristas that you can go sit and have a great coffee in the morning or a crepe for your breakfast. So, Scott, I think we're going to have a good time in November, but I know we'll have a great time when our guests travel with us next September.
Ryan, I've got my credit card ready.
Let's go.
Is your team standing by for me to give them my
You
credit
and
card?
you and Martha can come with us anytime you want. That would be awesome.
Well, just to reiterate, Allura, our newest ship, just came to us 60 days ago. So you will be on Oceania's newest ship. And that special pricing that you see there is because of the relationship that we have with Bon Voyage Travel, which, as I said, goes back, 14 years with me and Ryan. But if you were to look on our website, that pricing would be about $600 more per person than what you see here. So you are getting a fantastic rate, and that's all due to the relationship that we have with Ryan, Wendy, and the team at Bon Voyage Travel. So, as I mentioned earlier, was a pretty exciting day for us because we have launched our new collection of voyages. Our summer 2027, I had to think about that for a minute. Our summer 2027 sailings and our winter 27-28 sailings. Oh my gosh, it's hard to believe. So, this launch includes sailings starting in March of 2027, going all the way through April of 2028. 200 plus unique itineraries, including some of those grand voyages that I mentioned. Insignia, this will be her farewell year with us. She's moving on from the fleet. So that'll be a special farewell season for her. I do have a short video, and it's just quick. It's 30 seconds, and I'm just going to let you see. I don't think you'll be able to hear it, though. So those open today, and I'm just going to give you a sampling of some of those sailings. We have a 7 night Athens to Rome, Greece, Italy, great for pre-post in Athens and Rome. On Allura, something that we haven't ever done before, we will have Allura in the Mediterranean in the winter. We're calling it the quiet season. So from December through March, Allura will be spending the winter in the Mediterranean. Fewer crowds, much milder temperatures for sure. But she'll start off with a series of Barcelona to Rome, 14-night sailings, visiting Spain, Italy, Morocco, and Tunisia. And then we'll have a number of round-trip Rome sailings, visiting Italy, Greece, Spain, Turkey, Rome to Barcelona, Barcelona to Athens. So we're very curious to see what kind of demand there is for our sailings on Allura in the wintertime in the Mediterranean. We also have the bountiful British Isles, England, Scotland, Ireland, round trip London, aboard our boutique Insignia, May, wonderful time of year, immersive sailing of the UK and Ireland. Alaska, somebody at lunch the other day was asking me, Scott, what's your favorite? They always ask you, what's your favorite sailing? And I said, well, it's really influenced by the fact that I was with my wife and kids, and it's Alaska. So Riviera returns to Alaska. This year was her first year in Alaska. This happens to be a Seattle to Vancouver sailing, 11 nights, visiting Ketchikan, Sitka, Skagway, Juneau, Victoria. Some amazing experiences, some amazingly beautiful wildlife, natural beauty. When I went with my wife and kids, we did salmon fishing and sea kayaking and helicopter flight seeing on and landing on Mendenhall Glacier. It was just an incredible experience. We also have fall foliage on the East Coast, 12 nights aboard Sirena, New York to Montreal, visiting Boston and Portland, Maine, Nova Scotia, Quebec. Going through the Panama Canal from Miami to Los Angeles, 18 nights. South America, Rio to Miami. This is a 21-night sailing. And you will spend 6 days sailing in the Amazon. Then you go back up to Barbados, Guadeloupe, and the British Virgin Islands before returning to Miami. Cherry Blossoms of Japan, an amazing immersive visit of Japan, round trip Tokyo, 14 nights. We go down under as well, Auckland to Sydney, 14 days aboard Vista. This is definitely an immersive New Zealand itinerary, including Milford Sound. And with today's launch, we are offering 50% reduced deposits. This does not apply to Ryan's President's Cruise, but it is for these launch sailings, so 27, 28. 50% reduced deposits, good for new bookings through October 31st, 2025. So at the beginning, I also mentioned that we were talking about our value proposition. Our value proposition is called Your World Included, always free. So we include amenities that we feel are valued by all of our guests and that deliver on our brand pillars. So the gourmet specialty dining that I already mentioned, in-suite and in-stateroom dining, unlimited Wi-Fi, Starlink Wi-Fi, that's included. The sodas, specialty coffees and teas, that's all included. Still and sparkling Vera water, juices, smoothies, gourmet ice cream, and more, and shipboard gratuities, the bottom bullet there. And today we just enhanced our value proposition, Your World Included, with the luxury of choice that gives you the choice of wine, beer, champagne by the glass, which we used to call a house beverage package, or a generous shore excursion credit that depends, the amount is determined by the length of the sailing. And that we are marketing as a shore excursion credit, but it's actually a shipboard credit that can be used for anything on board Oceania Cruises. And if you book with Bon Voyage Travel on any of these, again, the President's Cruise, that Bon Voyage Travel President's Cruise hosted by Ryan and Anna is separate from this offer because of the pricing that you have and the $250 shipboard credit that you get in that one. But any of the other sailings, if you're interested, you would receive a $250 shipboard credit if you book in a veranda category or higher, which is where most of our inventory is, for any new bookings made today through October 15th, 2025. And this concludes the presentation. I just want to wrap up by saying thank you so much for joining us. Really appreciate it. Look forward to welcoming you on board and Oceania Cruises in the not too distant future. And of course, when you book through Bon Voyage Travel, as I mentioned earlier, they are experts. They provide you with peace of mind, convenience. They save you time, professional guidance. As I mentioned, many of them have sailed with Oceania Cruises. A few of them will be sailing on Allura with us this fall, and they do an amazing job for their clients. Don't leave home without them.
Oh, I love it, Scott. That's a throwback to a marketing cliche from the days of yore. But
That's right.
thank you for giving us a full understanding of what Oceania is all about. And I am a foodie. You can tell by the exclusive excursion that we've curated on the President's Cruise. It has food as all about it. So it ties into everything that Oceania has to offer. And one of the things I love that I just can't let be glossed over is specialty dining restaurants, there's no surcharge. You guys recognize that food is such an integral part of someone's vacation experience. When you travel, I travel, when we come home, you often talk about the sights that you see, but more often than not, you talk about the taste that you tasted from that local, hole in the wall place. You don't have to go to a hole in the wall place. You can just fit yourself into any of the specialty dining restaurants. Elizabeth, I see your hand raised. We're not able to take live questions. I do apologize for that. If you want to try to type your question in, Scott and I will hang out for a few more minutes to answer any questions, or you can jump on our website, bvtravel.com, and connect with any of our advisors. Every single one of them knows Oceania very well, and a number of them, as Scott had mentioned, have sailed. And you mentioned the Allura's christening cruise. We will, in addition to have myself and our VP of Marketing and Sales, Wendy, on, but our top three
Right.
Oceania salespeople will also be on that christening cruise, which I know is a pretty special thing to be invited on the christening. Is it not, Scott?
Absolutely. Yeah, super special. Very memorable. It's gosh, we had a christening back in 2023. We have one this year, but before that, it was Riviera, Ryan, with
That's
us
right.
going back to 2012. So it's not something that happens every year.
It's definitely a special situation. But in addition to the food, Scott touched on all the other included amenities with the Your World Your Way, always free, always included. And I think you captured it correctly if I can repeat the phrase you said. Those are the amenities that the vast majority of the cruising population take part in. They love those amenities. They find them exceptionally beneficial to the trip. They enhance your cruise. And if you say, uh, I'm the unlimited Wi-Fi. Come on, that is what everybody wants now. Remember the days when you would go on a cruise and you didn't want to stay connected?
I
Those days
know.
are over. For those of us
Right.
still working, it's a good thing for work. Maybe not always a good thing, but I know you want to stay connected with your family and your loved ones, sharing pictures, staying connected with them. But there's a number of other great things included on that list there, and I'm glad you pulled that back up because if you don't understand it, if you haven't cruised on Oceania before, many of these items you have to pay for on so many other cruise lines. So the value that you get that's included in that cruise fare. And I do love the new luxury of choice proposition because it does extend the alcoholic beverage options at lunch and dinner. And we love the shipboard credit. There's always something that you find that you want to pay for that shore excursion. I mentioned spa, the boutique. Those are really the things that you would probably spend it on because you're not going to need to buy your Wi-Fi package. You're not going to need to buy the specialty dining upgraded package to get into the really best restaurants on ship. Those things are already included. So
Right.
I do probably, let's see, do we have any other, are there hydro pools in the spa area, Scott? That's one of the questions.
So we have the thalassotherapy pool, and that is in the spa areas. If you are have a spa treatment, you can take advantage of that. Or if you're in the concierge level or higher, you can take advantage of that as well. Looks like Melinda's been in here answering a few of the questions. Melinda's my colleague. We work together, and she works very closely with the Bon Voyage Travel team as well.
That's awesome. And Elizabeth, I have taken your email down and I will hand that off if you want some further conversation to one of our very best Oceania specialists and have them reach out to you and set up an opportunity to engage further about what the spa facilities are, what the wellness center is all about. Because I know if you are interested in that, you might want to know more than just the pools and how you access that area. So we'll get that question answered. But I think that might be really the last of our questions. So it is kind of time maybe to wrap it up. The only thing left to do, let's just be frankly honest, Scott, is to book the President's Cruise for
That's
next
right.
September. I think that's the only thing left.
That's the only thing left. I'm there. I'm gonna call you guys right after I hang up here, give you my credit card.
Well, if Anna, my wife, and Martha, your wife, have
That'd be
anything to
fun.
say about it, that would be a great time. But for those of you who have joined us today, wanting to learn about Oceania Cruises, and hopefully you've learned a little bit more about Bon Voyage Travel, if you are a customer of ours, I want to make sure to say thank you. We appreciate your business. You have options and choices. We are happy to continue to earn your business. If we are not your travel agency of choice and you are learning about Oceania and you want to work with selfishly some of the best people in the industry that know that cruise line very well, engage with us. Go to bvtravel.com and find an advisor. We've got plenty to choose from. We would love to connect with you and sell you your next cruise vacation on Oceania Cruises. Take care and thanks for joining us on the webinar today.
Thanks so much, everyone. Bye bye.